Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RTA Season 27 Legend Tournament. My name is Evan, and with me at the table, it's Stoic. What's going on, Stoic?
What's going on, Evan? Good morning, sir. It's a crisp 3:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. Super excited because, of course, we've got Season 27. It came to a close.
Rip, as is tradition, making Stoic stay up late, along with everybody on the East Coast who's here with him tonight. Guys, if this happens to be your first Legend Tournament, let me tell you what we're here to do today. Like I said at the top of the show, RTA Season 27 just came to a close mere minutes ago. We take our top 4 players, and together we find out who number 1 is. And of course, we make them fight in gladiatorial combat for your entertainment on the way to doing that. I'm really looking forward to this one, Stoic. We have some pretty recognizable names in the top 4.
That's right. Spoiler alert, it's neither one of us. It's some familiar names we've seen before in legendary tournaments. So, excited to see these guys come back here and see what they could possibly be bringing to the table.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to put on a great show because a few of them made appearances in the last Legend Tournament as well. So we're going to see who makes it into the Hall of Fame this time before the next one 3 months from now. So Season 27 was a pretty fun one to be engaged in. Stoic, you called it a very proactive meta that we're in right now. So what do you think we're going to see with that in mind?
So when we say proactive, we're saying things that are going to be doing a lot of stuff. So hopefully stuff that's not going to be super stationary. Stationary doesn't mean proactive, guys. So obviously leading off with speed leads, going into your high speed stuff, Sekmet, Etna, Zabala, those big things that, demand those turns and really set the tone here for a lot of drafts. So I'm expecting to still see that kind of stuff here. We saw a lot of it back in SWC that had just finished over just a couple months ago, guys. So if you tuned into that, I think we're going to see a lot of familiar stuff, that looks just like that SWC, but maybe we might see some newer units that have come to light.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for maybe 1 or 2 of the Devil Maidens to make a show. We got the Dokebi Lords that we were talking about as well. And of course, if we're in a proactive meta, that means that we might get to see some cleaving like we did last season, because that was a real treat. I love getting to see the cleaves that were there. So it'd be great if we could get that again this season. Of course, I feel a little bit, maybe that's a little greedy of me to ask. I love seeing that happen. Here we go, everybody. So this is the tournament structure that we're going to be dealing with today. The overview, we got our top 4 players from RTA Season 27. We're going to be proceeding using the SWC mode, the one we're all familiar with, where you get a pre-ban before you move into the big ban phase. You can't consistently pre-ban the same monster in between each round. It's a best of 3 in the semifinals, and then our final of the night is going to be a best of 5. By the end, we'll have our legend. And look at these season rewards, Stoic. Check that out. The Star Knight Weapon Master is so cool, but I can't help but look at that cactus.
Look at that cactus, man. I love it. Poncho cactus. Big fan. I'm happy that, I'll be getting a poncho cactus myself. That's pretty amazing that I'm going to have him, running around on my island. I'm going to be looking forward to that. But a nice little mystical pond. That's pretty cool. And, I can't help but look at this Weapon Master. I feel like the term more is better. Maybe more is not better in this case. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, to be honest.
I'm all about the show with this one. I kind of like the more. More is more for me in this one, for sure. Chat's all about the cactus right now. I'm seeing a few people happy about the cactus. I love that chat is with us on the cactus. I think that's great. So clearly there's a lot on the line here. You got to make sure you get a lot of that. But you also, as the legend, you get your name in the Hall of Fame forever. And you do also get a unique island decoration that only legends have access to. That's something I am probably not likely to see in my Summoners War career, so I'm going to live vicariously through the number 1 here today. So we saw, I believe, Diligent was in the top 4, as well as, I think, FH as well, Stoic. Is that what we saw up there?
Yep, that's right. Those are 2 people who are very familiar with today's format here. And of course, we've got last season's champion right there. Killian Bao ended up making in. He's finishing here in rank 4. So he was our big cleaver. It was super exciting to watch him play last season at the Legend Tournament. He was the victor there. Are we going to see the same play from him? I can't help but say yes. He performed well, and it worked well. So why not, right? I think
why not?
The same draft.
He was unpunished the whole tournament, and it was really fun to see him do his play style. And if you can make it through the whole thing without getting punished, or having to adjust at all, then why change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what Killian lives by. And then there's Tars as well, previous SWC champion too. And we've got Tian Lang up in his most picked. We got Moore, Kitian Dashang, we got Cigar and Sekhmet. And it seems like folks are not a huge fan of any one of those. Also Sonia.
Yep. Oh, Sonya, what a great unit. You know, that unit's been getting so much play, what it's able to do to remove units from the field. Incredible unit, synergizing super well with so many different comps here. Taz, of course, he's very familiar with Legend Tournaments, very familiar with the SWC stage as well. FH, you know, this guy has a couple championships himself here in the Legend Tournament, so expecting this guy to do phenomenal. That, oh my god, the lights, I forget its name already, man. We're just getting into
It's the mercenary, I think it's the mercenary queen.
Yes,
that's Berg.
there it is.
Her name is Berghild, I believe. Berghild.
You know,
it's the
I could hear that name 1,000 times over, and I probably still won't say that correctly.
But that unit is so cool. It is it's its own ragdoll. Well, actually, it's kind of like a mini Omduat, I think would probably be a better comparison, because it's actually based on turns rather than taking hits. And then, of course, there's Diligent, who we talked about, who finished season ranked #1. Now, traditionally, what happens is we put 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. So that's what we're going to be seeing. So Diligent, right out the gate, is going to be fighting Killian, which inadvertently is a grudge match from season 26. Wasn't that our final from season 26?
I believe that was Diligent and Killian made it to the final last season there. So we'll see what happens with these two going up against each other. Maybe we'll get a better read. You know, Diligent just finished performing SWC Worlds there in Thailand, so you know, maybe got to shake it up, re-experience things, and come back here as a new man.
Exactly, even more experience. Like something that always comes up whenever we talk about Diligent on these Legend tournaments is we talk about his tournament pedigree. All the time he spent on the stage at SWC fighting at the highest level of competitive Summoners War. And now that he's gotten that refresher at the finals in Thailand, like you said, maybe he's back and better than ever, ready to fight Killian from Thailand.
Yep. We'll see if he has what it takes to take down that wonderful cleaver, because we also know that Diligent also has, here's my best shot here, the Berghild. Berghild,
yeah.
Berg, the dirty Berg. So Diligent also has this unit as well.
I just know that B is coming through strong on my mic right now. I got to get a pop filter on this thing if I'm going to keep saying Berghild. Yeah, that unit is consistently surprising to me. I mean, defense break, it's got stun, it's got turn cycling. That actually has accelerated to the top, probably like within the top 5 of my most wanted LDs their stud.
Yep, same. Oh, just watching it perform is insane. How many times, like the turns that it's getting in there it's so wild, and I feel like everything it uses is just like RTA relevant, you know, and it opens up so many opportunities for your other 3 units to take advantage of as well. So big unit,
yeah.
Awesome pull. We're going to be seeing a lot of that tonight.
Oh man, you know, and I just saw a comment in chat as well from Avery saying that it's got a good base speed. I actually don't have that number off the top of my head. What's so funny is that, like, when I'm looking at when I look at this unit in game, you see that it just nets so many more turns than everybody else in play. I don't even think about the base speed, because the thing is it's just getting attack bar. It doesn't even need it. 118. What in the world? Holy what? All right, well, let's see what Diligent can do. Dude, here we go, Stoic. We're going into round 1. Killian versus Diligent in the grudge match. This is the rematch from season 26.
Let's get into it, guys. We've got pre-bans getting locked in right now. Tian Lang and the Berghilda getting
the Berghild. Yeah. We've talked a lot about her. Maybe they heard us coming through. I highly doubt that they're listening. However, it should be a testament to just how strong that unit is, and just like that Laura is a testament to how strong she is even post-nerf there, Stoic.
Yep, that's right. Looks like Diligent's probably going to go the outspeeding route with that 120 base speed Laura getting locked in here. We've got a 24 speed lead getting locked in with the Maximilian, of course, with a Veronica being paired up right next to it. What great double LD Nat 5s coming out of our player right there, Killian Bao.
Yeah, Killian Bao is just kind of doing the same thing that he did last season. And, you know, don't mistake that for a complaint, chat. I'm excited to see his playstyle go through. It is so refreshing to see a cleave. I just need to see if Diligent can properly prepare for it this time, because last time Stoic didn't pre-ban, or rather didn't ban or pre-ban the Maximilian, and ended up getting punished for it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've got 2 speed leads, Han, Maximilian getting locked in here. This is still where I really want to see. Okay, so The Wunsa
yeah.
is the unit that's probably going to get banned out here. This is the fastest unit, or one of the fastest units on the field here that Killian Bao has to worry about. So Wunsa, great pick. I don't think it's going to make it through here. Ragdoll's going to get, do you really go with the Ragdoll? In my opinion, you don't go with the Ragdoll. You have such a proactive team. Like, it's kind of strange for me to see a Ragdoll get dropped in at the end here.
I totally agree with you there, Stoic. Yeah, it's the only reason why I wasn't such a fan of it is because we know we're banning out the Wunsa. We know Nefty's going to make it through. Nefty's goes off, potentially silences the entire team, and then inadvertently, even though you're getting attacked bar, the team can't really necessarily do anything. Let's see how this plays out in game. Bans are done. Veronica taking turn 1, getting the increased cooldown time on everybody in play except for the Moor.
Yeah, we know that Moor is built very, very fast. Diligent known to have a fantastic Moor here. Of course, we've got Laura is going to be going right after that. Built on Violent. This is such a fast Laura, by the way.
Even on Violent, you can tell a Sleep would have absolutely thrown a wrench in the machine there. But unfortunately, no disruption is there. Can he push back attack bar? No activation. Maybe a little attack break is all he needs, but here comes Nikki to balance out the scales.
Yep, that's right. Such a big skill with that third there. Maximilian's going to be hitting real hard here with that attack break. It don't matter. It's just so much damage. Han's going to be finishing off another unit. Additional turns coming in through. And Killian Bao with a very commanding round 1 victory over Diligent.
Diligent's in the middle of having flashbacks, Stoic. Like, this is exactly what we saw happen last time. There's some kind of disconnect there with Diligent in these drafts. He doesn't really want to ban out the big damage for some reason. And there's a lot going on with Maximilian. He also provides a 24% speed lead.
Yep, that's right. So I do think Maximilian probably should be in the, because I think that shakes up the draft there for Killian Bao. Take the Maximilian out, and I think there's a bit of a transition with what he has to bring to his team, needing an additional speed lead like that. So what could it be? We'll have to find out what that speed lead could be. Maybe potentially, since he has first pick now, you know, Maximilian gets banned out, he takes a Water Ryu instead, you know, and then just like alters the draft just a little bit here. But I do think Diligent should be in the realm of, again, we talked about this last time, bring in the Sekhmet, the Ethna, the Zabala, that big turn 1 unit to really mix things up here and stop him, you know, reset a unit, or at least stun up a unit where you're interrupting the draft of Killian Bao.
And notably, every unit that you listed too has a really fast base speed. I think he was in the right train of thought with the Laura and the Wunsa, obviously, because Killian Bao banned out the Wunsa knowing that it was going to be a threat to his turn 1 play, and it wasn't even going to proc Ragdoll if Ragdoll had made it through. So I think you're absolutely right. He needs to go the route about speed, because if there's one thing that Diligent has in spades, it's speed.
Yep, that's right. And I think that's the route he should be taking here. I think that, you know, it doesn't say like, oh, he drafted the Sekhmet, he's gonna win that match, because we've all seen Sekhmet. Sekhmet doesn't land that third skill like usually. That says speaks volumes in a match where, you know, the Ethna, the Sekhmet, the Zabala, it goes in, takes turn 1, and then fails. You know, ultimately that could be the end of the match right away in the first turn. So we'll see what happens, guys, as we get into this second round here with Diligent and Killian Bao. Pre-bans getting locked in right now.
Berghild, yeah, definitely getting locked in, right? I want to see some Berghild gameplay right now. Let's see it. The Nefties, that's interesting. Denying a speed lead is really powerful there. I think that's probably what Killian Bao is trying to do, is just make him sweat a little bit, to him being diligent, having to dig a little deeper into his box to find that speed lead. And of course, the Veronica just puts you at such a disadvantage on turn 1.
Definitely. I mean, that Veronica reset the Laura, so that was definitely putting, you know, Diligent kind of on the back foot immediately in that match. I think the Neftis is a great pre-ban, knowing how fast that Neftis was, because that really could have stopped the Maximilian. So I like the ban on the Neftis. I do think Water Ryu Chung Pong potentially coming back out again for Diligent. But Killian Bao, there's a change of pace right now with that the Keating dashing the Light Monkey King getting drafted first. So that's interesting first pick from him.
I was gonna ask about that. Is that a steal from the Kitian Desheng? Was he taking that? I don't know if he's worried about that. I don't know if that's something Diligent had. I'd have to double check. But I love the wedge at Laura pick here too.
I love the wedge at Laura. We're very familiar with this. You know, both units have been nerfed, and they are still great units here. Wow, we're seeing such a different side of Killian Bao right now. Connell and Tian Lang drafted. Chung Pong, I think Chung Pong belongs here. I would expect to see a Chung Pong. And to be honest with you, I still really like the Water Ryu. But Masha brings a lot of volatility. These are those high damage units here. I think this is totally fine. Obviously protecting itself with immunity. So what do we have for strippers on the other side of the field here? What does Killian Bao bring to the table here to interrupt Diligent?
Man, this is totally different play than what we've seen from Killian Bao in either season's Legend tournament that he's been in. Oh, Elanoa, one of my favorite LD5s, getting picked alongside the Light Totemis.
This is so interesting. So we're bringing a lot of like skill reset for Killian Bao. Like this playstyle, he flipped his playstyle on its head completely. Hey, I love the Sonya. I think Sonya is going to be an excellent unit to probably take out one of those back units, or even that light Monkey King as well. But I feel like that is stating a potential ban on the Connell, removing that big as well.
It could be that. Does Killian need to ban the Sonya here to deny that turn one snipe, Stoic? Because this is he's definitely going for this mid game. Like Killian Bao needs to kind of set himself up for the mid game.
I think so, and I think getting rid of Sonya is a great pick here because that's highly volatile right now. But keep in mind, Masha's still an excellent pick right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what this tells me is Killian Bao is very confident in the tankiness of his units. I mean, with an HP lead from the Cardinal, maybe he can just soak the Sonya's damage.
Well, we'll see what happens because Laura should definitely be in front of that Sonya. Laura's going to provide a ton of additional damage, potentially opening up a window there for Sonya, but Sonya's way too quick here.
First, let's see.
Whoa!
So the confidence was not misplaced. Not misplaced confidence at all.
Yeah, so threw up a dud right there trying to do take away that light Monkey King. So stays alive. Serious Matters coming out. It's a great reset, taking advantage of all the will being removed.
And only one increased cooldown time going out on the Kian Shang. So he's without skills for a turn, but we can quickly get those back. Elanoa could help with that easily. The slow is going to keep her from getting there a little faster, so.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Laura's second skill does stun. I know we didn't see any stuns land out there, but it does stun. We did get a slow on top of the Elano, which was quite nice. We're going to see a reset coming out here with that third skill there. And it is going to go to the Light Monkey King, who's sitting on his grave at the moment with 0.5% HP, able to sleep everybody except that Sonya.
That was a really nice play from Killian Bao. Only so much you can do against the glancing on Sonya. I think that was a nice last-ditch effort to try to get some control in this game. Let's see if Cardinal can do something to this thing, or if he's going to just wake up somebody else. Nope, he does, in fact, hit the Sonya. You have to eventually. Nice proc from the Cardinal.
It is a good proc. He does go with the skill 3. That's very. I thought he was going to leave everybody sleeping there. He didn't get any stuns, by the way, as well. So a little bit of attack bar pushback here. Sonya, second skill is back.
We're going to have to see what the repercussions are of using that skill 3 from the Cardinal. That felt like a bit of an overcommitment. I would have preferred to see these people still asleep. And then we have Cardinal in the back line, ready and waiting with that skill 3. Let's see, if you're not punished, it's not a misplay, right?
Yeah, that is very, very true. I do think he should have went with that provoke there on the Sonya to keep that unit back there, because maybe you wouldn't have seen all that damage come out of his Elanoa now. But Elanoa's still alive. These are really, really tanky units taking the big damage that Sonya's able to produce here.
Here we go. Skill 3. Skill 3 again with no punish. So, you know what? I guess Killian Bao knew what he was doing. He decided to take the damage and the slows where he could get it.
That is for sure. Big second skill there, getting a little bit of attack with that Elanoa, getting pushed, resisting the pushback there.
Really convenient timing for that immunity to come through. That was the perfect opportunity. And with a defense break sitting on Laura, it's up to Cardinal to be pulling the team forward. But I can't help but notice the Diligent is looking awfully healthy for this stage in the game. And that proc is not helping anybody.
Yeah, definitely a really nice proc there for Diligent. Elanoa somehow just holding on right now. Finally dropping to the Chung Pung, though. I don't see Killian Bao bouncing back right now. He's getting a little bit of resistance in here, but we'll see what happens. I know Connell's able to do some pretty crazy things, so he's got his immunity up here. There is no strip available. I don't believe Chung Pung has second skill, though.
I think he threw it out earlier, so no, yeah, he doesn't yet, but a proc would get him there. It's just that Diligent is looking so healthy. Again, like we're asking a lot of Cardinal right now to take control of the match from this point forward. Well, let's see. He does have skill 3 up, so let's see what magic we can pull. If we can pull some kind of AoE stun lock situation, then Killian Bao's very much still in the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we have to see, and Connell's just not getting these stuns there. You know, we've seen him get plenty of stuns in the past. He could be an absolute menace out here, but he's just not getting those opportunities. The additional damage rolling in with this Laura. You know, we do having those scripts are super nice right now. But yeah, you know what? He should have went with a skill 2, stunned everybody up there, able to use a serious matter.
Yeah, 100% should have gone for skill 2. But you know, honestly, Diligence in the lead right now. This is his game to lose, so he can kind of get away with making like choices like that. Although that was an awful lot of damage coming from Colonel. All of a sudden, Laura's looking like she might be the next one to go.
Yeah, clock is ticking, man. Keeping up with that immunity, not able to get a serious matter out here. Of course, if he gets the additional turn, we're going to get that. Oh, he's going for the additional damage anyways. Wow.
Gotta provoke. Didn't get anything.
I think he has to go with the skill 2 here, to be honest. I think you want to get the slow.
He should have done it and gone for it before, but it looks like it's not going to matter. If that kills, and just like that, that is game. Killian Bao swapping to that more control comp didn't end up yielding the results he was hoping for, and now all of a sudden we're sitting at 1-1 in the first set of RTA Season 27 Legend Tournament. What did you think of the changeup from Killian Bao there, Stud?
I liked it, to be honest. I think, you know, for showcasing so much cleave and then swapping over to more control there, you know, I thought everything was working fine for him. His units are so tanky. He was able to take the Sonya damage so well across the board there. So I feel like he's got a good thing going for himself there. I think what happened here is Diligent had a little bit better draft, and I think it just came in the form of just having those strips there. Laura providing the strip, Chung Peng providing the strips, and then able to get so many turns with the Widget. So really helpful. He's able to keep those units back, even though there was so much skill cooldown reset for his own team. Killian Bao offering with the Light Maya. What's her name? Like, not Light Ella. There we go.
Ella.
We're on it.
Yes.
And Ella Noah.
That's it. Ella. Ella and
both
Ella
these units
Noah.
able to reset so much cooldown there. So for his own team. So like, I really like that. So we'll see what happens. I'm a fan of both drafts there. Obviously, Diligent coming out on top, and I think the strips had everything to do with it. Able to remove all the effort that Killian Bao was trying to put into his team.
Like, I love what Killian Bao was showing us. He had this really cool idea. It's like, I've got this potential to stun lock people. With all this cooldown reduction, being able to give turns with Elenoa, that's a really cool combo, and I would have liked to see it kind of get underway. Unfortunately, he actually didn't really get too many stuns with Carnal at all. So, maybe it was just kind of like, sometimes you just don't get the stuns. You know, maybe it could work again if he tries it. But personally, I'd like to see him return to the cleave, and that's not just out of trying to get you to bed earlier, Stud.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're going into game 3. This is going to be match point right here anyways. Ragdoll, that's getting banned out. Diligent right now is totally reading into his opponent. He believes his opponent's going to go down that cleave route one more time, and he doesn't want to have to worry about banning out the Rag. That's what it looks like is happening right now. Veronica Maximilian getting slammed down by Killian Bao.
He just needs to lock it in. I don't know. He's spending a lot of time thinking about it. That was a lot of hesitation from Killian Bao. How does Diligent respond?
It's interesting to see that kind of hesitation, because it definitely feels like he was very unsure. Does he really want to go down this road? Does he think Diligent's going to respond better than that very first match here? And I love where Nephthys is placed right now, not placed later on, because he's showing like, hey, you know how fast this Nephthys is. Do you really want to go down that road again? Yeah, doth thou want to deal with it? So it's a great presenting it. Whoa, throwing out the Wedget right here, right now in a Masha. That's kind of cool, especially considering that it gives the team a little bit of staying power between the anti-crit and the defense buff, and then also Masha essentially having a second life once she's off the horse, as it were. Yep. I love it. I think this is a great draft for Diligent here. I think Doc Robo is fantastic. I think it comes down to is who's quicker. And I feel, that's the more I was going to say, if that more goes through, I think I give a lot of credit to Diligent right now. But after seeing more banned out, I can't help but give a little bit of credit to Killian Bao. We'll see if he can take the turn 1 over Diligent.
It was a good ban. It was a really good ban. And look, now he's getting full mileage out of that dark speed lead. Gets the strips except for Masha. Let's see what Maximilian can pump out here in terms of damage. Does get the attack bar reduction.
Nick
Here
is
comes the Nicky.
pummeling the damage.
Look
Oh,
at
that is
this.
so crazy. So I mean, it's technically it is over. I just don't see how Diligent can come back from that. That's just so much damage right out the gate there. Nicky, Maximilian, everything getting the nice speed lead coming from that Han as well. Han able to finish off every one of these units. Excellent draft there for Killian Bao. I give him full credit for how fast he had that Dak Robo.
Incredible. That was classic Killian Bao gameplay. That was great. And I like the backup with the Dark Robo, because in the case that Veronica got the ban, or if in case a speed lead got the ban, he gets full mileage out of the Dark speed lead off Han. And then the Dark Robo was the perfect solution to also clean things up. Like, he was the very next one to move after the Han. He just had a third skill up and running. He was ready to just lock out the rest of the game. That was super well played from Killian Bao. Diligent still kind of having a little bit of a hard time adapting to that gameplay style, though.
Yep, definitely. It was very, very obvious. I think what we saw was someone, putting a lot of faith in his rune quality. And, I think that can definitely be justified. We know the great rune quality that Diligent has. We know how fast he is here. Killian Bao definitely keeping that in mind. Units like Laura, that Water Ryu, he knows how fast and the high quality that Diligent has on these units. So, handling that very, very well here and respecting the speeds of Diligent ultimately is what it was coming down to. But I do think Diligent should have opted to go with those big turn ones, maybe offering himself a 33 speed lead, because he's got them. He's got all the 33 speed leads in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if he has all the 33 LDNAP 5 versions of them as well. I think we really needed to see something like that if he thought he was going to overcome Killian Bao, because it's just such a high speed, well synergized, and very closely tuned team coming out of Killian Bao.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, needed something. Or the other hand, I could see, like, if we wanted to get a little bit more scummy with it, I could kind of see something to throw a little bit more variance into the equation. Something like, I'm not saying Antares, but, Antares adjacent. Something to throw in some variance to kind of interrupt when he's least expecting it. Everybody, we are going to be right back with some more awesome games. Stick with us. We'll be back after a 5-minute break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RTA Season 27 Legend Tournament. I'm still Evan, and that's still Stoic, I think, though I haven't checked.
Still stoked, still awake, still alive. Just 4 a.m., guys. We're pulling through. We're having a good one. You know, we had a great first matchup with Diligent, Killian Bao. It was exciting. We got to see a lot of things, you know, remnants of the last Legend Tournament. You know, some changes here, which were good changes. You know, it's nice to see, you know, a full Game 3. Some good drafting banter. You know what I mean?
Definitely, like kind of the Summoners War equivalent of a rally. You know, that was great. I loved that. The change to a CC comp for Killian Bao was definitely a welcome one. I like getting a look a little bit deeper into the monster box to see what else he has going for him. And it's crazy to say that we still have such great games ahead of us too. We got FH and TARS waiting right now to do their next game. This is going to be so exciting to see. FH, a Legend Tournament mainstay, and then we have TARS, who's got an SWC championship under his belt.
Yep, that's right. And TARS has been plenty of Legend tournaments as well. So both these guys, very familiar with the stages here. So we've got some great highlights coming up here with very familiar match here, Diligent and Killian Bao. You know, in that very first match there where we got to see, you know, what happened in our previous Legend tournament, where surprisingly we got almost interrupted by the Neftis, where Neftis could have came in, silenced some stuff up here, but that's not what happened. Maximilian had something to say about that.
Yeah, that was a close call, and honestly, a really good piece of tech from Diligent too, and it clearly put the fear of God in Killian Bao there, because we saw him pre-ban it later on. This was the shift that we talked about earlier when we came back from break, where Killian Bao took on more of a crowd control type of route. Wanted to show us something in terms of like a little cycling action with Ella and Ella Noah to recycle the turns back to Karnal and Kitty and Sheng. However, Diligent had an amazing counter to that, featuring Wedget, Laura, as well as the Sonya in the Chung Pong.
Yeah, and this Sonya ended up getting a couple duds out there. Not able to one-shot the Light Monk King, not able to one-shot the Eleanor, providing like some pretty good damage, but not where, you know, that's not the reason why Diligent took the Sonya here. Not to do like 50% on a target. He's trying to really eliminate these units there to make his life a lot easier here. I do think if we ran this exact draft back, I think Killian Bao takes it in a run back here, because we watched Connell not do what Connell usually does there, and that's with like big third skills, stunning everything up there. But it did get a lot of additional turns, so he'd cycle right back into a skill 2 after doing a skill 3, where usually we'll see like a skill 2 Connell go into a skill 3 right after that. We saw the opposite, but it really didn't lock down his opponent like Connell usually does here.
Yeah, and there was also that window where Diligent probably, it would have behooved him to use the skill 2 of Laura instead of going for the skill 3 just for raw damage, trying to get some clutch stuns and slows out there. So he almost gave it away with that. There's a really funny conversation that's kind of been emerging in chat between that game and now that we're watching the highlights, saying that if Ella had been O'Reilly, then Killian Bao would have taken it. And I think that's actually hilarious. The bonus, the healing and the attack buff would have actually made a pretty big difference.
Yeah, probably. Offering so much more sustain as well, keeping that Connell alive a little bit longer, able to probably do, you know, not just more damage, but, you know, to maybe even just gain a little bit more control throughout that match there. But keep in mind that the Ella does reset some cooldowns there. So maybe the Connell wouldn't be able to, you know, produce so many third skills like he was doing out there. So, you know, that I think that's the reason behind, it makes me think about like what I have been doing. Obviously, like not to this scale here, but like I've been running the Shizuka and Seimei, but it's just to keep up with the skill 2, using it like a ventilate in the same way that they're running the Eleanor and the Ella, where they're just keeping up these skill 2s with 2 units there. So that play back and forth is kind of what you were looking for. So
yeah,
it's a
very similar play style
team that we got.
Yeah, and you beat me to my next point too, which was that while Riley would have provided the attack buff and a little bit more sustain, Karnal wouldn't have had the opportunity to lock down the opponent as much as he did if it wasn't an Ella, because she was reducing cooldown time. But it's a fun conversation to have, and I think I'd like to hear chat's conclusion on it in a little bit. But right now, we're looking ahead, because we're going into FH versus Tars.
Yeah, this is a really exciting one. You know, we've got two guys that are champions in their own realms here. One on SWC, one in legendary tournaments. FH, man, he's been in a lot of legendary tournaments. You know, someone we see here quite often. He's got a pre-ban on Tian Lang right now. In a Veronica getting pre-banned by Taz with the first pick. We're getting that Berg Heil out here as a first pick for Taz.
Everybody's loving the Berghild. It's a great monster, also known as the Light Ivor, so we might see it in either form, but they are functional equivalents. They do the exact same thing. In miles or kilometers, or as I've been taken to calling him recently. And Wedge.
Two great picks there for FH. You know, maybe the Miles is going to be there to help take advantage of this Berghild. I feel like Light Monkey King, I can't help but feel like maybe a little early. If he's not going to lock down that Water Ryu, I feel like you're not going to lock in a Light Monkey King, but Taz looking to draft it. I do like the Water Ryu. Lock in the more, then we feel comfortable with that Light Monkey King.
Oh, he's got options.
That's fine too.
He's got options. He likes the... I'm fine with Chiwu. The glancing is actually pretty sick here, especially given these two new fresh units. You want to make sure... Glancing is healing in its own way. Damage not taken is health not lost. So, you know, in that way, it's essentially healing. And you need that against Meihel Wang, because he stacks attack like nobody's business.
Yep, Taz kicking himself for not going with that Water Ryu after seeing a Raccoon and Fire Monkey can get drafted now, but a Daniel...
I don't know about the Daniel.
That's interesting. You know, I don't know about the Daniel either.
Dude, no. Please, dude, it'd be so funny for him to pick the Molong, because Daniel is at best AoE Molong, and at worst he is absolutely nothing.
Well, we'll see if that works out for him. So there's not a ton of attack by pushback here, minus this Chiwu here, and of course the Light Monkey King as well. I feel like I would have expected to see more attack by pushback, unless that's with the Lucille's. I don't get to see a lot of Lucille action here, so that's getting locked in here. Obviously, Josephine's coming in to interrupt all the stunning, providing shields. There's like a lot of sustain right now, and we're talking with Jet and Raccoon right now. So I can't help but think like Raccoon, or maybe even the Jet. I think Jet's probably going to get that ban out here.
Dude, this draft is just so cool. I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of both of these teams. They're very different. Even though they mix and match a few units that we've seen before, like we're familiar with seeing Miles, we know Wedget, we know Killian and Berghild, but we don't often see them in combination with such other unique units. Banned the content! Oh, FH! I've never been so disappointed in FH, because, I mean, the writing's on the wall with Daniel. If you're bringing Daniel, you're very confident in your speed tuning. You know you can reduce their attack bar down to 0 before his turn starts. So, I get it. However, I selfishly would have loved to see that.
Yeah, I think FH has seen enough Daniel in his times, knowing that he wants to ban that out here. Maybe even going up against Taz before having to deal with this Daniel before. So that definitely got banned out here. Glancing getting provided on this field on top of the two units that he probably needed it the most on.
Oh, and the AoE Death Break. Man, you don't even need to throw out third skill, but I would for the slow, to be honest. I would, just to get the slow in play so that you net more turns. That almost looked like an auto, an automatic.
It felt very auto-y from Taz.
It did feel very auto-y.
Oh, man, but look at that. It just went. That was not a violent proc. It's at full attack bar once again. The Berghild looking to take down this Fire Monkey King, putting Taz at a unit advantage right now. Can't help but think it's looking really good for him.
It is. It's looking great for Tars. And look, the Killian's already cycled. He's already back. It's no wonder why he didn't want to use a skill. Didn't need to. Here comes Giant Net to reduce attack bars all the way down to 0. Of course, giving Josephine a turn in the process. But you know what? We take those L's with the dubs, you know?
Yep. Oh, he gets that provoke on top of that Light Monkey King as well. I was going to say, I do think Taz just keeps going into this Josephine. I feel like we're not too worried about anything else here. So getting rid of Josephine, high priority right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, Josephine's trying her best to do some work on her way out, but unfortunately it's just too little too late. And giving him the rope, Tars, unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, he's yeah, that was just great.
Yeah, writing was on the wall with that one. As soon as Josephine dropped out there, there's just no way. Now, we've seen Miles and Raccooning. We know it can be really, really good, but I think the important thing is having two other units there you know, you don't have to do a balancing act anymore, so you can't really hope for that Miles finish off, especially in a Legend tournament where everybody has this crazy rune quality, and you have to deal with the Berghill. Berghill just, I want that unit so bad. It's like you always have 100% attack bot all the time.
Everything. Have you read? Chat, I invite you to go read Berghill, even if you know what she does. Just go read it. And it's like, that is unbelievable how much stuff is stacked on that monster. What a great unit. Like, and what a fun unit to play with. And it's not, you know, it's not so oppressive that it's like it feels absolutely broken to be staring down it, you know, when you're looking at the opposition. It's just so fun to use, and it's a great piece of utility. You know, still susceptible to nuking, still susceptible to like a Masha skill 2 or whatever. It's a great monster. I really like it, and I really want it. I think it's so good.
And a very cool, the Compus version of this unit is just so cool. I love the style
giant
chose
axe.
to go with. Yeah, the giant axe. That's nice. I like a nice giant axe. You know what I mean? As a ragdoll user, love the axe.
Yes, and as someone who makes great weapons actually out of wood, you know, you
got
make
me.
stellar, dude, super stellar. Actually, it's great. People's in chat saying light chilling is a budget Berghill. That's cool. I'll have to check out light chilling. I'll have to use some light chilling. I guess that's true. It's kind of a hot take, but you know, I say things like that all the time. I'm over here saying Mav is Ganymede. I don't even throw the word budget in there. I'm just like, Mav's the same thing as Ganymede.
All right, well, Tian Lang, Veronica are available now. Those were the pre-bans from last time. Both these players could draft going into round number 2 here. New pre-bans getting locked in right now. It is going to be that Light Monking and Wajet, 2 units that, you know, one unit that we didn't get to see, one unit that caused a little bit of trouble, so those units are gone. FH with the first pick here.
Yeah, something that's so easy to dismiss from the Light Monkey King, Kitty and Dusheng, is those slows on skill 3. The slow is almost worse than a second turn of sleep, because you just crawl to your next turn.
This Veronica first pick. I feel like Taz does have a Veronica. And I think that's why the Veronica was taken first.
So you think it was a call-out pick?
Yeah, I think it was. That's so interesting seeing all. You don't often see Oliver being first picked too much anymore here, but it looks like those are going to be the speed leads he's choosing. He wants to lock in the 33 speed lead, 24 speed lead more, of course. So I'm expecting to see a very fast unit coming out that he wants to lock in. That's why that 33 is there. He wants to outspeed. He wants to command that first turn.
And look at FH over here, Stoic. He got the Berghill, right? He took the light Ivor away, and he also got the newly buffed Ciara.
And I can't wait to see the newly buffed Ciara come in here and put in some serious work. Him too. FH locking into 33 as well with the Vanessa and another Bruisery unit. We know what Connell can do here. Obviously, there's no immune on the other side of the field here. Tian Lang looking pretty dangerous, though. I think Tian Lang is already the ban, and that's a problem for FH because Taz has to read into this, and this last pick has to be so devastating that it really puts FH on the fence with his ban because Tian Lang, I don't know how you look at this draft and not ban the Tian Lang.
That's a great point. This has got to be there's a lot of pressure on this Okeanos if that's the 5th pick. I love what FH has presented here because he's got himself in a position where banning out the Tian Lang, which he does need to do given his draft, is kind of safe because he's got protection against the Sonya in the revive from Vanessa if it makes it through, or the tankiness from Carnal as a backup plan.
Yeah, I think the Okeanos is fine. I don't think FH cares too much about it. Obviously, there's some great synergy going on here where we've got more into Okeanos. He bans out the 33. No. FH is going head first, and he's oh my god, FH.
There's no ban on the Tian Lang, Stoic.
What is this? Is old man.
This is some confidence. This is other phrases, bravery. I don't know, man, but I'm a little scared for him because Tian Lang stands to benefit greatly with Berghill in play. It makes him a second Berghill. Huge ignore defense on Ciara. Immediately, Vanessa's 3rd skill is on cooldown now, and look at that. Tian Lang is ready to try to clean that up.
Oh, man. I was going to say, I think this is just a really big attack buffed Ciara probably planting bomb and taking care of the Tian Lang that way, but it's not going to matter right now because this Okeanos, the last pick unit coming in clutch right now, stunning up some units. I think Berghill is going to be the next unit to go because Vanessa's got no cooldowns here. Taz looking to get the 2-0 on FH.
Man, The ban not on the Tian Lang too seemed a little strange, but yeah, Tars is making a really big statement here with these games, looking to be able to take this in a 2-0 fashion.
Yep, that was a great draft from Taz, though. The Tian Lang, such a problem. Sonia, almost pretty much eliminating that Ciara there. And then Okeanos was actually a really, really clutch last pick there. I know we don't get to see a lot of Okeanos right now. He's kind of fallen off the meta there. He's still a very, very good unit, you know, offering plenty, you know, especially in Taz's case here. Exactly what he needed there. Because I think damage, if there wasn't an Okeanos, it was probably going to be a Connell there.
Yeah, so he's got the reset, he's got the stuns, he's got a lot going on. And actually, I think I featured him recently in 5 monsters that should see more play, and I still think that that's true. He's kind of at that point now we could start reintegrating him into our picks there, Stoic.
Yep, definitely. And Okeanos comes across as I think I've said this before in Legendary tournaments. Okeanos comes across as a tournament monster, and not so much like a ladder. Like, you don't see a lot of Okeanos on the ladder, but you see a lot of them when it comes to tournament play.
Yeah. Honestly, great draft. I still think the ban probably should have been on the Tian Lang. Just stands to gain too much out of that draft. There's a lot of attack bar increasing effects, so it was just kind of feeding the Tian Lang a lot. Yeah, Tars definitely had a one-sided game, as Chad is putting it right now. Tars really showing what it takes. I mean, like we said, he won SWC. The guy's out there like with some really strong drafts and really good play for a reason. You know, definitely deserves.
He has a lot of units, man. Like, the guy has an absolute arsenal of units there. He's got so much in the tank there, and you know, we didn't even get to see it all either. You know, we saw some key units in there. You know, Tian Lang being one of those key units, but there's still so much more hiding in there.
Oh wow! So now we're gonna get to see Tars versus Killian Bao. That's going to be a great set, Stoic.
Well, I think we have an opportunity to see a change of pace here, because I don't think we've seen a Taz versus Killian Bao. I'm curious what Taz is going to be bringing to the table. What is he going to do differently than Diligent did? Because we did see a 33 speed lead in the form of Oliver come to the table for Taz, so he's going to bring it. He has it, and I think in Taz's case, he's going to need that. I think we're expecting to see a 33 drop the field, maybe even 2 33s hit the field here, and those really fast units there to really interrupt what Killian Bao is bringing. Because Killian Bao, he's so tightly tuned, and I think Taz is the guy to know that.
And he's been unchecked, right? But there's been a lot of opportunity to do homework. I mean, we've seen the games played right now, so Tars has a chance right now to try to disrupt that when no one else kind of could properly do so. It really gave Diligent a run for his money both this season and last season too. So I would love to see Tars kind of get a grip on what Killian Bao is bringing to the table and give him a match that'll make him sweat a little bit.
Yep, exactly. So let's see what happens, if that's what's gonna happen as we get into that next match there. So we'll see. I am really expecting to see kind of like what we keep saying here is taking that turn one, you know, disrupting the play, maybe even pre-banning that Maximilian.
That would be crazy. Now, what else would be crazy is a couple mystical scrolls in your pocket just for sitting and watching the Legend Tournament tonight, guys, and that's exactly what we're offering. We got a code right down there at the bottom of your screen. Xmas with Legend Tournament Season 27 is the code. You just type that in if you're on Android OS. However, if you happen to be on iOS, our lovely mods in the chat are going to be copy and pasting the link that you can interact with in order to get that exact same benefit on your Summoner's War account. If I wanted to get something out of those mystical scrolls here, Stoic, I think it'd probably be one of the new Twin Angels with the names.
Yep, I too. I really want to get my hands onto one of those angels there. You know, I've been eyeballing the water one for the speed lead, but you know what? I think the wind one's really calling out to a lot of people. I think the wind one is a fantastic unit there, or pair of units, I guess, because they're twins.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, guys. We've had some great games tonight. This has already been so exciting, and we still have the finals ahead of us. Tars versus Killian Bao is coming up right after a short break. We'll see you right back here in a moment. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to RTA Season 27's Legend Tournament, this time for the finals. My name is Evan, and with me still, it's Stoic. Stoic, what have you thought of the game so far?
They've been exciting, you know. Big fan of Tars right now. The way he handled FH was phenomenal. You know, we got the 2-0 out of him. We saw some great play coming out of that man. So I'm expecting to see, you know, great play again, to be honest with you. I think Tars is the guy to stop the cleave. I think Tars is the guy to draft, you know, some of the things that we're expecting to see, to be honest.
Yes, if anybody could find the flaw in that team, kind of find that hinge point where banning it could take out the whole thing. Spoiler alert, it's Maximilian. If anybody could find that Maximilian, it'd be Tars. First, let's check out some highlights from the games that we just saw. This is from Tars versus FH, and what a set it was, Stoic. A clean 2-0 from Tars.
It was, man. That Berg hill. Dirty Berg, shutting it down right there. Josine was supposed to be the unit to carry the victory there. That was just not happening. There was just too much going for Taz in that very first round, and boy, did he make quicker work as we went into round number 2. Sonia just doing away with Ciara is huge there. And of course, Vanessa bringing her back there. But I'm expecting that Ciara to be built on attack power. I think he was really looking for an opening to potentially even just snipe something out himself using this Ciara. And obviously with the newly buffed third skill, able to, you know, really generate and get something going there for FH. But he was not able to generate anything or get anything going for that matter.
Yeah, just couldn't get off the ground, couldn't get his engine online, you know, and that's not typical for what we've seen of FH in Legend tournaments previously, which means Tars is really got a lot going for him. The dude, obviously, again, I want to reiterate for anybody who might be joining us a little bit late, Tars does have an SWC championship under his belt, which is not something you can say for everybody at the tournament. So like that really is a testament to what quality of player that we have here at the Legend tournament right now. So when you're up against him, it's not like any other player.
Yep, that's right. I mean, FH, he's got a ton of legendary tournament experience here. Taz being SWC champion. I think he has a legend tournament champion as well. So if not a couple, because Taz is also very familiar with this platform here. But he's got to go up against Killian Bao, who is extremely familiar because he's a previous legend tournament champion.
Yeah, he's going for the repeat win here, trying to reclaim the title. He was our winner in Season 26 and actually won it in the exact same way that he got to the finals, which was in a set against Diligent, which is really funny to see him get here again through that route. Now, Killian Bao versus Tars is our final today, which means that we're going to be shifting from a best of 3 to a best of 5. So last season, Killian Bao was actually able to close it out with a 3-0, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to get a 3-0 in a final here at a legendary tournament. And I think Killian Bao is looking to do the exact same thing. You know, there's some really big key units here to talk about when we're looking at Killian Bao, and it starts with that Maximilian and it goes right into that Han as well. Those are the two speed leads that Killian Bao seems pretty consistent with drafting, that gets him these very quick victories there. And we saw how fast that Dak Robo is. Does Taz choose to take any of these units away or choose to speed contest?
Yeah, because that's a really good point that you just made there, Stoic, because Tars is in the semi-unique position where he actually shares some units with Killian Bao, so I think he could do some thievery if he was so inclined. He could try to take one of these units away so he didn't have to ban it, thus kind of getting a 2-for-1 ban. Although we do know that sometimes doing that sort of thing can kind of dilute your comp a little bit, so you got to be careful about which unit you take from the enemy, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Tars try something like that. We haven't seen it thus far.
And I know Taz shares a ton of units with Diligent, so we are definitely not going to see the same stuff that Diligent drafted because it doesn't work, Taz.
It doesn't work.
If it wasn't clear,
I know what you mean.
Before, don't draft what what he drafted because it's not going to work.
Tars, in theory, has the benefit of watching all these games go down, so he can apply the wisdom that's been imbued from other games before him. Let's see if he can make this work. We're in the finals. This is round 1, Tars versus Killian Bao.
In a really important pre-ban right here. Let's see what it is. Veronica is going to get pre-banned by Taz, and the Chiwu is going to get pre-banned by Killian Bao. That's interesting.
Yeah, the Chiwu of all things. I think he just wants to deny easy access to speed leads. Oh, Tar's already signaling that he's going to be looking for a window of opportunity to lock down the comp and apply some slows to take control. This might skew a little tankier. Maybe could even get an HP lead in there or something like that. So I'm wondering if he's going for the route where he just weathers the storm.
I feel like Killian Bao might be going down a control side of things, and I think that's what gets confirmed there with the Tian Lang.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting pair up here with the pick ban phases. So now seeing this shift, Tars is playing around with the idea of bringing at least 133% speed lead, which is actually something that I think you called out just before we went to break there, Stoic. You were saying that you'd like to see, or maybe it was while we were on break, you'd like to see Tars double down even on 33s.
Yep, and I love that. So he's got a 33 in his wheelhouse right now. He does need an additional speed lead here. I like the Connell pick here, but there's the Maximilian and the Nikki. These are two very closely tuned units. Volantis, I think, is pretty solid. I do like the Volantis coming out of Taz, but keep in mind, like, that's still a lot of damage that he is going to have to get hit with.
Oh, yeah. And I was just about to say that this could be another Dark Robo opportunity for Killian Bao, but then the Volantis showed up. And actually, Volantis could kind of throw a rock or a wrench or whatever hard object you're interested in throwing into the machine in Killian Bao's strategy, because he could stun up the Dark Robo or the Maximilian for that matter.
But there's a beautiful read here from Taz, and I think the Juno says, I don't want to see that Dark Robo, or go ahead and draft that Dark Robo, because I do think he's prepared for it. So I'm a fan. I like Taz's draft. He only has one speed lead, and a Gianna that I didn't realize that Killian Bao had is being slammed down on the field. Dare I say, slammed down on the field.
Schlamdow. Yeah, he is not. He's not biting. He sees the temptation to take the Dark Robo, and he's not going to do it because the punishment potential was just way too high between the Volantis and the Juno that is probably on Despair Revenge. Obviously, banning out the Gianna as well is a really safe call for Tars.
Yep, I agree. I think the Gianna was a must ban here, but we've got a well-oiled team here coming out of Killian Bao. Let's see if he has what it takes there. Potentially cleave up Taz, but Taz with the very fast light Monk King isn't going to be doing much with immunity on the other side of the field.
I would almost go so far as to say too fast, considering that the strip option falls right behind it. But, he's got enough control behind following after that he might be able to make use of it. The res, here we go, the whole team that we've seen Killian Bao use the whole tournament. It's going off right here, but can Nikki close it out with all this tankiness on the other side? Look at that damage, Stoic.
That's it, man. That's the show, dude. Maximilian proving to be such a crazy unit.
God, if only
that
someone
needs to
could
be
find,
the pre-ban.
If only someone could find what the enabler is for this team. I'm telling you, if only we could.
What could it be, Evan? We'll never know. We went through a legend tournament last time, and we still couldn't figure out that I don't know what the pre-ban could be. Is it the max? I don't know if it's the Maximilian. Is it? I can't tell if it's the Maximilian that needs to be pre-banned. Hold on, get this. Maybe, Evan, if we ban the Maximilian, we might see something new. Maybe, possibly, we'll find out.
Stoic, you sound crazy right now, dude. I don't know what you're going on about. Dude, that sounds ridiculous, man. It's only been 2 seasons. Killian Bao using that. Oh my God! Wow, what a game! That was great. I mean, to be honest, we're laughing a lot about this. It is pretty funny, but Tars was right there at the start. It was just the Juno was off tune. It might have been a slightly different game if we had seen Juno take turn 1, get that skill 2 off, right? Because both Juno and the Light Monkey King did end up moving. Juno moved first, stripped the enemy team, and then Killian Dasheng was right there ready to do the skill 3. It's over for Killian Bao. It was just a matter of speed tuning at the beginning.
Yep, and now I do think this kind of helps Taz here. So now that Taz understands, he knows the speed of his own Juno. You know what I mean? So he goes into this knowing, like, my Juno outsped everything of Killian Bao's team here. Keep in mind, that's a Despair Juno outspeeding everything on Killian Bao's team. So what does he need to bring to the bring to the table here to outspeed all of Killian Bao's team here? That's an interesting take.
Wait.
We have a Maximilian ban. We have a Maximilian pre-ban here. All right, this is great. It happened.
He did it. This is incredible. This is honestly unforeseen. This is unprecedented right here. Still doubling down. Killian Bao is like, I'm still gonna cleave you. This is wild, Stoic. I think he's got something else in the tank that he might bust out here.
Well, so there's the Chiwu. The Chiwu got pre-banned last time, and I do think he should probably put this in here because I bet the Chiwu will strip in front of the Light Monkey King where the Juno did not. Veronica as the first pick here. I think Veronica's a fantastic unit that Killian Bao is rocking in right here. I think he can go the control route, and he doesn't have to go the cleave route. I mean, he's missing the Maximilian, which is like the core foundation of the cleave.
But I think, man, that Veronica just is so signaling, I'd like to cleave you. Actually, these are two units that could... I like those picks because those are two units that could go either direction. Yanhong could contribute damage. She's also an enabler. More sets up for whatever the last two picks are. So he could kind of pivot into slightly more bruise if he wants to, or he could easily continue in cleave.
Yeah, I really do like that Yan Hong here. We do, I think, need a second speed lead coming out of Killian Bao. If he's going to bring the Yan Hong, he's definitely bringing a second speed lead here. He doesn't want to get, his only speed lead banned out here and then ruining the whole purpose of drafting the Yan Hong in the first place. And there's that speed lead in the form of Punch. This man's got so many LD Nat 5s, might I add.
He does.
We've seen a cleave version, we've seen some bruisers, and now we're seeing some control play coming out of him in all like LD Nat 5. Just wrap it up, man. There's so many LD Nat 5s.
I gotta say, Juno. Nice last pick. I like the Pontos here, actually. If I remember correctly, Killian Bao actually presented this Pontos last season.
Wait a second. Killian Bao just bans out the Chiwu now. He bans out the Chiwu. The Juno... Oh, no, he bans out the Juno. That's interesting. Okay. All right. I don't know if you saw what I was seeing, but like we understood the speed of the Juno, knowing that if everything's willed up, Light Monkey King's not going to do anything because we have a not tuned Juno.
Right.
Or a too fast Juno.
That's a really good point because we already know how that interaction lines up. Oh, but the reset,
like
the clutch little reset. Clutch reset from Veronica, the first one we've seen in a while in this entire set. And now the entire team for Tars is on cooldown.
Oof, nice little defense break there on top of the Veronica. Third skill coming out here. See the damage. Everybody is looking rather low once again with the additional turn cleanse. Pretty nice.
Such impressive damage, even without a defense break on the enemy team.
I know, man. That's so crazy. I was going to say, I think he has to go with Holy Ground, protect his team there. Get the invincibility up there, move that defense. He's going to get everything. Got the additional turn with the Nikki, gets the additional turn with the Poseidon here. More damage is coming out here. Unit's going to be dropping in a second.
This madman is cleaving. This is a secret cleave.
Dude, it's a different version of the cleave here. I mean, when you're bringing a Nikki and you're getting 3-turn attack buff, everything becomes a damage dealer now. Because it's able to do so much damage, having attack buff across the board. And of course, like Nikki sets the tone with how much additional damage she lays down on the field as well. I mean, there's Killian Bao. He's got the 2-0. We're looking at match point, man.
He can cook. Killian Bao, really, like, you let this guy go, he can go. He finds a way to cleave in the weirdest ways. It's great. I love watching him work.
Wild. I still feel like we probably should have seen the ban on the Chiwu. and then he would have just ran into a match number 1 again.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And then could have just made his life so much easier. But I guess it's fine. I mean, clearly it worked out for Killian Bao that he didn't have to. Didn't matter what he had to ban there because it was still fine in the end.
Yeah, he's found a way to make this cleave very effective against a lot of different people's comps, and I totally saw what you meant there, because we already saw the Juno out in the field with Killian Desheng. You know, we know that one outspeeds the other, and it's the wrong one. So he could have banned the Chiwu to kind of get rid of some of that variance. But ultimately, that game worked out in Killian Bao's favor. So I'm excited to see if he's going to keep cleaving through this third round. Based on what he's been presenting, I don't think anything can stop this guy from cleaving.
Well, he's got the Maximilian here. So going into this round, 33 speed lead with a turn 1 control unit. Like, can we see a second?
Nikki? Pre-ban Nikki, maybe? This is where it gets a little tough.
Not bad, you know. But
I could see Veronica or Nikki.
I could see Veronica or Nikki as well. I think maybe Nikki, just to avoid that exact same comp, because we've got 2 different of cleaves right now, where he comes in and brings actual damage cleaves out, and then he comes in and brings control, and then Nikki turns your control into like a damage control cleave.
Totally. Guys, this is potentially the final game of the night. We have Killian Bao sitting at the advantage here at match point. Tars needs to figure it out here and now to stop Killian Bao from winning 2 seasons in a row with the same comp.
Let's see what happens here. Pre-ban's getting locked in. It's the Veronica and the Tian Lang. I mean, Veronica's totally justified. We know how good this unit is. I think it's fine, man. Veronica, Tian Lang. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Killian Bao banning out the Tian Lang. Okay,
oh,
yes.
It is. You know what's so funny, Stark? It's so late, even, you know, it's later for you, but it's so late even for me that, you know, I misread that as well. Because I had it in my head of one way or the other.
So, I think the Berg Hill's fine. Yeah, Light Ivor, Berg Hill being drafted by Taz here. It's fine. It's a very, very fast unit here. It's able to interrupt.
Whoa.
We're seeing, okay, you know what? I like it. Killian Bao changing things up here. We got a ragdoll first pick, which I will never, ever agree with. But hey, it's coming to the table now. We've got a Shizuka being slammed down here. Mo Long, what was it? Mo Long Chung Pang, and bringing it back here. So we got a Mo Long Wusa. Interesting.
2018 called. Wow, this is hilarious. This is what I'm talking about. No one can make Killian Bao change from cleave. Killian Bao makes himself change. And there was gonna still cleave this. He just decided that he was like, yeah, you know what? Let's mix it up. Maybe he was afraid of the base speed. Maybe that's what he was afraid of. I'm not sure though.
Potentially. Now this is like an old strat with the Shizuka change with the second skill. Shizuka doesn't synergize that well with that Kraka anymore, but he's bringing it anyways. We've got Shizuka Kraka coming in. He's gonna, you know, combo those fellas off each other. I have no clue what these last units from Taz could be here though. Like we're so all over the place right now. It's a Gianna.
Oh, and the cigar is brilliant. I was just about to say something. Okay, yeah, Chung Punk's cool too, I guess. I was just about to say something along the lines of like, we're putting bombs in the pool for Shizuka at this point. Whoa, Stoic, this is looking weirdly like the comp you're using.
So now technically it does work with the Kraka, but Same is going to be getting the ban out here. Chung Pong's going to get the ban as well. It's so weird to see like the playstyle in those first 2 matches, and then to see both players agreeing that, no, we don't want turn 1. We're both going to go Bruiser. How did we get to this point?
I don't know how we got here. It seemed like the players just felt the vibe. The vibe was off. So they're changing it up.
Oh, yeah.
Got a great stun on Kinky right off the bat. That's exactly what you want when you're looking down at the Kinky. And yeah, that was really, really well chosen by Tars. Or really well done by Tars.
Most definitely. I think we have to go with the skill 3 here, because that bomb being placed on the... Okay, we're going to go for soul protection onto the Kraka, because now that immunity's coming out here, we could have used a little bit of damage out there.
Yeah, he could kill Kinky right here, or if he wanted to, he could even... Oh, he wants to strip. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that she strips too. She does everything.
She does everything. She really does. Strip, stuns, defense breaks. It's like it's everything that you want in an RTA match. We're not using skill 3 here. I mean, he could if he wants to protect himself from the bomb, I guess, but that's like some weird value that you're not really looking for. But all right, he is going to go for it. He does get the additional turn, which is really, really nice for that.
Yeah, I guess if you... Yeah, it's kind of a last-ditch effort here, just throwing it out. Like you said, to protect against the bomb, get a little bit more temporary HP, and the soul protect doesn't hurt too, though it might get stripped by the light Ivor or the Molong skill 2. There you go.
Oh,
and
it's
down
gonna
it
get
goes.
stripped, man. That's crazy. I want that unit so bad, Evan. So bad.
I know. Me too. She would just be perfect for any comp, man. Like I would love to have this unit. It makes me want to play with Omduat, even though I know it won't be the same.
No, it's not the same. I tried playing with the Omduat myself. It's definitely not the same. We've got second skill available to bring back the Kraka. Kraka does have skills up here, so we can get a revive here, which it's pretty nice because Mo Long's really, really low right now.
I'm a big fan of that little combo with Shizuka. Oh, man, as if Tars needed any more dominance. Gets the 2-turn sleep on the Shizuka.
On a probably max resistance Shizuka. It's quite a sight, to be honest.
It is. You know, credit where it's due. Tars seems to have figured out something. Cracked the code, got a point on the board, although granted, it did require Killian Bao to shift strategies in order to get the win.
A big shift in strategies. And it was a strategy that I do feel like didn't need to happen, especially the way like the ban went. So it's like your bans go out and it's like, oh, you could still cleave and, you know, control cleave or something like that, and then we get like a really strange first pick a ragdoll, which I would not recommend.
Yeah, I'd like to know what prompted that. Could it have... It's either of two things in my head, though I'm open to other suggestions. I'm seeing it as either, one, that Light Ivor has an extremely fast base speed. I'm unsure if I could take turn 1, you know, I might get stunned, what have you. Or I'm so far ahead, I might as well try something else. I'm reading it as one of those two, you know, one of those two situations. I don't know if you read it differently, Star.
I don't even know what to think about that draft there. Honestly, I feel like I'd like to just forget about that draft, to be real. But hey,
can we just go back to the cleaves this time?
I know. Let's go back to the cleave, man. It's way more exciting, and I think that would have cleaned it up, man. If we saw just another cleave coming out of Killian Bao, we saw the 3-0 100%.
Killian Bao does bring the hype. I'll tell you that. I get really excited watching him play, and it's always cool to see what he brings to the table. I mean, it's just stylish at this level of play to see a cleave.
Yep, it is. Let's see what happens, guys. We're getting into round number 4 here. Yeah, round number 4.
Round number 4.
We'll see what happens in the pre-bans here. Pre-bans from last time, Tianlang and Veronica. Those 2 units are now going to be available. I'm expecting to see a Maximilian pre-ban coming out of Taz. You don't want to have to deal with that unit again.
Great
and
call,
it is,
Stoic.
and that Light Ivor is going to get pre-banned here. So big fan. I like where we are. Let's see what happens.
And as a reminder, Killian Bao, equally at match point as he was last round.
Is that Veronica that was pre-banned?
He's cleaving.
First pick mid here.
Yeah,
you see a Veronica come in there, he's cleaving, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No matter what. It might not even look like a cleave, but let me tell you, it's going to be a cleave.
So let's keep in mind, Taz opting to go with the more, not the Chiyu this time. He was looking at that before. And so now that we're getting a more...
Dude, just as long as it's not a ragdoll. As long as it's not ragdoll, I'm happy. Ragdoll's
well, so ragdoll's not terrible going into like a more, but that's just not the play style of Killian Bao. Killian Bao's been like demanding these turn 1s and, you know, demanding damage that he's been laying across the field here.
And
I like a 33 getting dropped in there.
The more could still disrupt too with the stun. If we're plotting against the more, I'd prefer something like a Heigang, which I haven't seen presented yet, but. I'm unsure if he has it ruined up. I'm sure he has one, but... Oh, okay.
Oh my god, maybe? That's the first time we've seen a Volantis coming out of Killian Bao, how? How does he?
Stoic, he's scaring me.
Yeah, no, he's scaring me with the amount of LD Nat 5s he's flat. Why? Okay,
he does have a lot.
This is crazy.
He does have a lot of
most
LDs.
people with the Volantis, they draft the Volantis, they take the Juno with them as well, just so they don't have to get Juno'd on the other side of the field. I don't think that's the case that Killian Bao needs to go down. So there's the Juno, obviously getting slammed down, signaling that you're letting the Volantis through. Now, question is do you have to ban out the Juno? Knowing
that's what I was just about to ask you.
How is your team looking?
That's what I was just about to ask you. Do you have to ban the Juno here? It feels kind of like you do, especially because like one of your win cons is damage and debuffs from the Volantis. Yeah, so those two have to ban each other out. So that makes sense to me. Killian Bao has won with a similar comp in this very same set with the Pontos earlier today too. So we'll have to see how he can surprise us. Again, letting the Tian Lang through is a little bit bold. So let's see if he can do something about that. Choosing not to gain the attack bar, very good call, because it would have boosted the Tian Lang ahead of him.
Yep, that's right. Going for an attack break, and I don't know if that's a Despair more or not. I'm guessing it's Swift. That's why he went for the attack break on the Yan Hong instead of potentially going for a Despair Stun on top of that Oliver here. But we've got Chung Pong looking for an attack bar reduction on top of that Oliver. Maybe a stun going out to really keep that Oliver back here. I feel like that might be the one unit that you kind of want to control right now. We should be going for an AoE silence.
Yes, and he knows, and he did it. That was a good call, Stoic. Also put Tars in a really difficult situation because since Pontos had immunity up, he could still use skill 3, which meant Kitian Dashang was unable to lock people down because it would have just added value to Killian Bao's third skill from the Pontos.
Yes. Now this Yan Hong actually does a lot of damage. It was attack broken. It did a good amount of damage on top of this this Moore. So Moore looking really low right now. His passive's down, taking advantage of the defense break, sitting on top of this Yan Hong. Yan Hong's still alive right now, not able to get that holy ground to protect the Yan Hong.
Going down. That's the give and take with going for the silence. Silence was definitely the right call, but you know you give up something with it, and it might be the Yan Hong in this case.
Yeah, I think he has to keep hitting that. Yes, I was going to say, keep hitting that more. The passive's down right now because he is going to be able to eliminate this unit here.
If he can just take it out, he needs to end this quick. That's the problem with this comp, Stoke, is he just doesn't have the kill potential immediately. In fact, if anything, it was the Yan Hong.
Yeah, Yan Hong kind of was like a lot of that damage here, but sometimes you don't need the damage when you have units like Oliver. Oliver in a field that doesn't have there's no protection for Taz right now, so he has to take this Oliver no matter what. And it looks like he's going to try and focus out this Chung Pung first, even though he hasn't finished off that more just yet. I think this is a multi-hit, so he'll be
waiting for the multi-hit. Exactly. Yeah, he needed to wait for either Ray Spears or the skill 1 from the Veronica to take it out. That was a good observation, Stoic. Yeah, he's just got to make sure that Chung Pung doesn't get his skills back online, and unfortunately, he does have them right now.
Yep, there is the Pontos with the silence. This is really big. He needs to land on everybody.
Oh,
Does get resisted on top of that Light Monkey. Beautiful additional turn. Able to cleanse, throw up that invincibility. So nice here. Big reset. This is exactly what he needs. He gets to keep back that Light Monkey King. And I mean, that wraps it up right there. That's a lot of dots there because you're going to watch that Chung Pung drop. It's nothing but a lonely Light Monkey King facing a bunch of invincibility. Killian Bao getting his second in a row Legend Tournament victory.
For both 26 and 27, Killian Bao has now entered the Hall of Fame again. He is our champion of the RTA Season 27 Legend Tournament. What a great game. That one was actually a little tough towards the end. It was looking a little shaky for him for a minute because he didn't have all that kill potential that we know to be synonymous with Killian Bao's playstyle.
He didn't. You want to know what? I feel like Pontos was just an excellent unit there, offering another one of the speed leads, the silences, the holy ground to keep his team alive here. I know we did lose the Yan Hong, maybe call it a little early into that match there, but Yan Hong could have been saved by that very Pontos, but Pontos holding it down, man. Silence is an absolute killer.
Oh, yeah. It seems like a unit that is frequently underestimated, and there's a lot of priority bans on the table, so it feels kind of tough to say that sort of thing. But if you look at the utility that he brings in the game, he was the reason both of the games that he appeared in were won.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's offering another speed lead. You know what I mean? It's one of those incredible units that if you have it, it's such a perfect like drop in. Like you don't draft your Pontos early, you draft your Pontos later on, and it's great synergy when you decide to go with more of a control style play to also keep your team alive at the same time.
Yeah, and a great opener too. I'm really happy with the way Killian Bao structures his draft. I think he opens with the Veronica, and then he follows it up rather with two units that can shift in either direction, right? Like that's just great fundamentals at work. You know, in this case, it was like the Oliver and the Yonhan. It's like those are two units that can just like they can support a cleave. They could go a little bit more bruise if you have to. Like the dude's a master at flexibility, though we only ever saw him commit in one full direction or the other, but. I thought it was great.
Yep, it really was. I mean, so many units in that box, and there's probably even more. Like, I'm so curious to see like what else does he have. The Volantis was a nice little surprise there. Ended up coming in Cloud. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we didn't get to see the Volantis, did we? No, because the Volantis got banned out there, as well as the Juno in that draft there. But it's so crazy just to see like after crazy cleave synergy LD Nat 5s, and it's just like. Goes in with a control style, exact same thing, crazy LD Nat 5s. He just kept coming with it. It's so wild that we're able to see like different versions and you know, some different play style coming out of Killian Bao that isn't always the cleave.
Oh yeah, and it was cool to see him shift it up semi unprompted. I'd still like to know what goes into play there when he sees a unit like the Light Ivor and he's like, oh, I'm gonna play crowd control this game. I wonder what it was that kind of shifted that in his head. Was it the base speed? Was it the fact that he was ahead so he could try something new? I'm not too sure. It might just be something like a mix of the two where it's kind of keeping the opponent on their toes. It's like they're so prepared to counter a cleave. When he brings out the crowd control, it might mix it up for them a little bit. Psychological warfare.
Yeah. I want to know what was going on in that third match where he was like, you know what? I think Ragdoll's a great first pick right now. Like, what?
Oh,
in
man,
what
that
world?
scared,
like, what?
That scared me.
That was so,
oh, man.
So I was wondering so much there. It's like, we've got so much going for you. You've been doing so well. All up to this point, we've got the previous Legend tournament that you were just in as well. And like, you come in there and you're like, you know what? Everything I've been doing, all that success I have, let's try a Ragdoll first.
It's just so passive.
So
I mean, at the top of the show, we were talking about how we're in kind of a more proactive type of meta right now, and Ragdoll is he's just one of those units that sits there and accrues value. You know, he's not doing something actively like furthering your game plan. You know, he just kind of sits there and waits for the opponent to do something, and that's not the position you want to be in right now.
Yeah, not at all when you're creating the foundation of your draft. I feel like Ragdoll is great to sprinkle in towards the end of the draft, you know, after you've seen Injustified drafting this unit.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah, anything, absolutely anything. But to see that, it was curious is all to see Ragdoll. Shizuka, I think is fine, but not in the world where we were looking at, you know, a pre-ban that still gave Killian Bao absolutely everything. But hey, the guy won it anyways, so it doesn't matter too much there. So big congrats to Killian Bao.
Here we go, everybody. So we got another code for you to end the event. We got 20. See you again, 24. So we'll see you again in 2024 because this was the last Legend tournament of 2023. And again, folks, that code can be typed in directly through the events page. There's a code redemption banner inside there if you're on Android. If you're on iOS, however, all you got to do is find your way over to the chat and you'll see that there are links being posted by the mods who are with us tonight too. Just interact with that link and it'll redeem you those 3 mystical scrolls as well as the mana to summon them. This is a great Legend tournament to wrap up 2023.
It is. It didn't actually occur to me till now that was our last Legend tournament of 2023. Evan, it's been a great 2023, man.
Yeah, it has been. I've loved it, and I can't wait to see what comes in 2024. Killian Bao has kind of become the people's champion for these things, too, but that's going to make it all the sweeter when someone comes along and dethrones him.
Yep, I mean, 2024, let's see what 2024 has in store for Killian Bao, or maybe this is just the beginning, you know? Goes into 2024 and wins out every Legend tournament from here out. Is that the world we're going to be living in? Because so far, nobody can handle this man.
That would be also kind of cool, you know, if it's just King of the Hill for a while and no one can dethrone Killian Bao, and we just need to find the champion, the one true hero of prophecy who can come take him down. Either way, they're going to have to pre-ban the Maximilian a little bit more than we've seen. Just to put him out of his comfort zone a little bit.
Yep, you're right. I mean, you get that pre-ban there on the Maximilian. If that finally comes true, I mean, then you have to deal with the Ragdoll first pick. So, what will he do after? What will your opponent do after that? Like, who knows with the Ragdoll first pick? I don't know how you handle that.
I don't know. And look at this. Tars came close, to figuring it out. He got a point on the board, which was a tall order, to be honest. In the first round, we saw pretty much exactly what Killian wants to do. We got the perfect cleave comp. We got the Nikki in play with everything as well. Round 2, we saw the semi-distorted view of it that included the Pontos. And obviously the Pontos, we didn't know it at the time, but he was going to be foreshadowing for the way that we concluded tonight's games. And there we saw him kind of being the deciding factor for this one, protecting the team and making it a series of awkward turns for Tars, especially with the Masha. Just couldn't get any damage in. And this was the one where we saw that we saw the Gianna pick for the first time, which was actually, I really liked that pick, and she ended up helping a lot. It was a key deciding factor in getting Tars that one win there, Stoic.
Yep, that's right. Had absolutely nothing to do with a Ragdoll first pick there in creating a not so great foundation for that match.
Dude, the Ragdoll first pick is highly sus, man. Like that's not a good call.
Oh man,
you're giving your opponent way too much room to just abuse that.
Most definitely. At least we got into that final match there. Veronica came in, put work in, Oliver putting in work, and ultimately Pontos, another one of those units that, another one of those LD Nat 5s that I wish I had. That 24 speed lead, silence, support unit that just really offers so much to your team. It's such a great RTA unit, even a great 2v2 unit as well. I wish I had a Pontos. So super good unit. Congrats for Killian Bao again. For wrapping it up in great fashion there in that final match.
Yeah, so well done, and also making it interesting. Truly, he's a very entertaining player to watch. And look at the journey he's been on. Look at these players he's had to take down. Taking down Diligent to make it to the finals. Taking down Tars after that. We even saw Legend Tournament mainstay FH in this one tonight. This has been a really great Legend Tournament. Definitely worthy of being the last one of the year. This was a super stellar way to end RTA Season 27, and I can't wait for Season 28. Stoic, are you going to build anything new for Season 28?
I am gonna figure that. I'm kind of hoping that I pull some new units and I'll be able to figure it out after that. So no plans right now.
I liked what you were doing with the Seimei and the Shizuka earlier today.
Yes, so Seimei and Shizuka has been something that I have been trying to push a lot more with, and kind of even open up the draft here, because obviously one of my new units that I pulled was Oberon, so trying to mix in the Oberon a lot. But then some Smicer action has been a lot of fun. I'm a big advocate of Smicer, so I want to see more of him. You probably will be seeing a lot of him coming from me. He has my full support right now for Smicer, and I recommend everybody else try a little Smicer in your life.
Yeah, if you got Smicer, you really got to use him. You don't know what you're missing until you try him out. That thing is incredible. I love that unit. People were kind of half jokingly calling him Triple S for a while, but I think it's growing less joking and more serious. Well, this unit's actually really good. Not great against Juno, but honestly, that's there's not a lot that is super stellar against Juno. So that's great. Yes, use some Smicer, and congrats on the Oberon too. It's like I say, you are incapable of pulling an LD5 that's not synergistic with your comp. That is such a great pull for you, because both Seimei and Shizuka can bring him back from the grave to nuke somebody or ventilate.
Yep. Now I just have to work on the not being so washed up hat, and then we're good.
You're not. Oh my God, Stoic! You give yourself too hard of a time. Chat, yeah, he gives himself a hard time. Stoic's great. He's awesome, but maybe we skew away from the accuracy resistance dependent comps, because you've got a questionable history with accuracy resistance.
I do. I should probably stay away from those comps. It will probably help me sleep at night.
Yes. Or, we play more together, because maybe the optimism will help.
Oh, the most optimistic man. That's 2023's most optimistic man right here, everyone. He already has my vote for 2024.
Still losing games. We're just optimistic about it. We're just optimistic. Chad, I want to remind you that if you're still here or if you're just joining us to check out the codes, they are in chat. You can find all of them pinned in a comment in there. Our mods have posted them for your easy viewing. If you're on Android, all you got to do is type those in. Navigate to the events page to the code redemption banner. Type that in as you see it. But if you're on iOS, there's a link that you can tap on in that very same chat. Get yourself some scrolls. Let us know if you pull anything cool. Or if you feel so inclined, you could maybe save them to summon with Stoic. Stoic streams on Twitch, twitch.tv/StoicRNG. You give him a follow, and we stream on Wednesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Right here, wherever you're watching, that's where we're live. So you could save them and summon with us. Everybody, this has been a lovely Legend tournament. Truly the best way I could think to end 2023 Stoic. It's always a pleasure to cast these with you, man.
It is always a pleasure. It's always so much fun as well. No matter the time, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. The sun's coming up. I'm about to have breakfast in bed. But hey, I'll see you later. It's been fun. It's been real. Happy over 2023 and into 2024.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.